Hey, this is Trish, and here is today's video. And I have to admit, I did not do very well today on my second day going gluten-free. Now, there are a couple things you need to know. First of all, it was totally my fault. I can't blame anybody. I got invited to dinner at the Chinese buffet. Who's going to turn that down? I'm certainly not going to. The other thing is that I'm going to do better tomorrow. I am going to start over with my gluten-free tomorrow. Because the thing is that some other things you need to know is that, first of all, I avoid buffets because America, we do not need buffets, okay? Buffets, they give us this mentality of trying to, I'm going to eat as much as I possibly can for this price of $6.95, $12.95, $15.95, whatever that price is. The thing is that it's a bullshit game for your mind. It's just mind candy, because there's no way you could actually prepare all of that food for whatever price it is that you're paying. It doesn't even, if it's like a $22.95 casino buffet, you could never, ever in your life make the amount of food you're going to put on your plate, or your 2 plates, or your 3 plates, and then your bowls of soup and whatever. You could never, ever make that for what you're paying. America has a really big problem with this mentality. It goes back to most people in America are poor to middle class, and so we have this idea of we want to get as much as we can for our money. And the thing is that we sacrifice quality for quantity. Now, there is no way, you cannot really justify eating at a buffet. It's just too much food. It's way too much food, more food than any person needs at one sitting. I mean, just think of it. I mean, look, when it comes to protein, you only need about this much protein, about the size of the palm of your hand, basically about 4 to 6 ounces of protein, because your body actually cannot process more than that at any one time, not as protein. If you eat more than about 4 to 6 ounces of protein, depending on like if you're female or male, or if you have a lot of muscle mass or not, or whatever, it depends on your body type. But your body will actually start to process that protein as a carbohydrate. It won't just say, oh, it's protein, so it's healthy for me and I'm not going to get fat. Well, your body's going to, approach that, digesting that protein and processing it more like a carbohydrate once you surpass that. So when you go to the buffet, people are loading up on the fried chicken and the bread and the rolls and the macaroni cheese and the fried this and the fried that and the prime rib and the ribs and the this, that, and the other. And it's like, it's way too much protein at one time. People are not loading up on vegetables, when they go to buffets. So buffets are kind of the death knell for any diet that you're on. And that's why I avoid them. Recently, I took my daughter to a buffet at the casino, one of the local casinos, and she just turned 17 years old, okay, 17 years. And this was the first time I ever took her to a casino buffet. So in 17 years, one casino buffet. I am an overweight person. I've had to deal with a lot of health issues and weight issues in the past year and a half, and so I certainly don't need to be pigging out at the trough of the nearest buffet. But tonight, it was Chinese buffet. And I love Chinese food. But even then, the problem with the Chinese buffet is that, have you ever noticed that there are never any Chinese people eating at the Chinese buffet? Or like if a Chinese restaurant has a buffet during certain hours and otherwise you order off the menu, the people who are actually Chinese go to the restaurant during the non-buffet hours. It's because all of that stuff that's on the Chinese buffet that we consider Chinese food is not actually Chinese food. It's Chinese American food. It's Chinese food that's really been adapted for the American palate, because there's way too much protein, way too much beef, way too much chicken, way too much even seafood on there, and pork especially, that the Chinese people, the Asian cultures, they don't eat that much meat at any one meal. And Americans and Europeans, we shouldn't eat that either. We have this notion of eating meat 3 times a day. That's not natural. You were lucky to eat meat once per day way back in the days when you had to catch your own food. So buffets are a real problem if you're on any kind of health regimen. I won't say diet because diet is such a bad connotation, but if you're on any kind of journey, if you're on a journey to fix your ruined health like me, I've got to, still working on the iodine levels and still working on thyroid and all of that, the buffet is horrible. And so day 2 of being gluten-free sucked. I ruined it. But I know in my heart of hearts that's not real Chinese food, and certainly a buffet is not healthy for you. So day 1 of being gluten-free starts all over again tomorrow. And for me, being gluten-free is actually pretty easy because I don't crave breads and pastas and savory things. My problem is the sweet stuff. And so I have loaded up on coconut flour. I got some almond flour today, and that way I can start making some really great foods and start incorporating some of that, because coconut flour is really sweet. Well, I mentioned that yesterday. But coconut flour, it's very sweet. So because the sweet stuff is my downfall, I think the coconut flour is going to be really good, and the almond flour as well. So anywho, so I just wanted to chime in on, just how evil buffets are, and how they can be really bad for you if you eat them often. Again, I took my daughter to the casino buffet for her birthday, and then I went to the buffet, and that was a few weeks ago, and then the buffet today. And so I have no problems whatsoever, staying on the gluten-free as long as I have a way to make sure that I get my sweets in. And so again, coconut flour, almond flour, and I'll be doing some testing of recipes, and hopefully I'll be able to share those with you if they turn out, because I don't want to don't want to go without my sweets. But anyway, so that's a whole other journey. But anyway, all right, so I just wanted to check in with this stuff today, and I don't feel bad. That's another thing. The whole thing about dieting and getting healthy is the mind aspect of it. And I'm not going to berate myself because I don't eat buffets often. I don't eat like that on a regular basis. And so from a psychological point of view, yes, I ruined today, so to speak, but I also allowed myself to enjoy this, and then I'm back on the wagon tomorrow and the rest of the day. See, I'm not going to do anything bad the rest of the day, I don't think. So, all right, I love you, and I will see you soon. Bye.